We had a little mini holiday over the weekend, and if you're anything like me when you go away, you want to come back to a spotless house. So come with me as I speed clean my way through it. We've got some cleaning before, a short mini vlog of our holiday, and more cleaning after we got back, because I actually ran out of time to get the whole house done, and I was determined to finish it all when we got back. So yeah, there's a little three-parter all in one for you today, and I really hope you enjoy. I've got about 2 hours before we go away for the weekend, so come and speed clean my entire house with me, because there's nothing I hate more than coming back from a lovely, relaxing holiday to a messy, chaotic house. Why have I waited until the last minute to do it? Couldn't tell you really, but I know that even if I spent this amount of time on it yesterday, it would have pretty much looked the same today, and then I would have been doing double the work and been more angry about it. There's method to my madness. Last minute means there's no time for it to get messed up again. Charlie's packing the suitcases as we speak because I'd rather do this than that, and I always forget what we need to take. I've got no plan and no timers set today, so this is going to be pretty chaotic, and I'm just letting my brain lead the way. Which is why I decided now was the perfect time to clean the living room blinds. Will this mean I probably don't get the whole house done before we leave? Probably. But it also means I've done something that can't be undone in a day, and as we know, that is one of my favourite things to do. And as you can see, these blinds were very overdue a clean. Anyway, we're going to Longleat to see the Wallace and Gromit illuminations, and it's a 4-hour drive from where we are, so we decided to make it worth our while and stay the weekend at Centre Parks too. That way the kids can go in the pool and have a walk around the Winter Wonderland. And I'm just hoping it kickstarts that Christmassy feeling for us. It's been a rough year with me being so poorly with my pregnancy, and the kids deserve this time away more than anything. So yeah, very excited for that, but right now my vision is blinkered and I want this house clean, so let's carry on. These blinds are honestly the most satisfying thing to clean, and they wouldn't get so dirty in the first place if I could detach them and wash them in the bath like most people do. But they're drilled into the wall, so I have to hand wash every single rung. It's okay. At least this is one more job done before the baby arrives. I didn't get round to it when I was doing the big deep clean of this room, so might not be the most ideal time to do it, but if I'm feeling that kick of motivation to do something, I listen, because I never know when it might return. My son was sat in this corner this morning eating crisps and pomegranate. Very weird combination, but who am I to judge? Problem with those types of fruit is they splash everywhere when you're trying to get the segments out, so he managed to get juice all over my freshly painted walls. Good job I got the washable kind this time though, and I've saved the pot for if I ever need to repaint the smaller sections, which I probably will have to do here because it's left a purple stain. I do realise at this point I've become too zoned in and focused on this one room, and time is ticking away. But do you know what? Sometimes just having one pristine room makes all the difference. People always ask, how does the underneath of your settee get so messy so fast? This is how. Constant crumbs, Lego, spilled drinks, sand, you name it. And some people genuinely think I leave it years to clean underneath the settee, but I only just cleaned under it last month, and I promise you, if I moved it now, it'd probably look exactly the same as it did. And I don't have time to be pulling out the settee and cleaning underneath it all the time. Yes, I could make the time, but that would mean time's taken away from something more important. More important to me is the point, because we all have different priorities in life, and under the settee will never be one of mine. Moving on to the next room, and I couldn't be bothered at all with this, so bare minimum cleaning was involved. Anti-bac wipes at the ready. I can do a proper deep clean when we get back. I was more focused on just neatening everything up in here, to be honest. And then I realised that actually, yes, the sink and the toilet do need a bit more TLC. But the floor, that's another story, and I don't have time to mop. Especially because we're going to be in and out of here a few times before we leave, making sure everyone's tried for a wee. Especially me, because this baby thinks my bladder's a bouncy castle. I've got to the stage of pregnancy now where I'm up at least 7 times in the night. But funnily enough, even with the disturbed sleep, I'm not as exhausted as I was in the first and second trimester. But I think that's more to do with getting my iron levels back up. I have a history of low iron levels even when not pregnant, but it got so bad a month or so ago. We went shopping for baby clothes and I couldn't walk properly by myself. I just felt so out of breath, so weak and sweaty and awful. I couldn't actually concentrate on picking anything out and I just wanted to go home. And I think shopping for baby stuff is one of the best feelings. It was really disappointing to not be able to enjoy it. It's honestly amazing just how bad low iron can make you feel. But it's what helps transport oxygen around the body, so it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, anti-bac wiped the top of the toilet and this inside bit got a bleach because it was looking grubby, I won't lie. And then after fully flushing away the bleach, I used some pink stuffed toilet foamer just because I love that it's pink and it smells so nice. But reiterating here that the bleach was washed and flushed away so the two products didn't mix. It's hard to get that to translate on camera because it's all sped up and bits are cut out, but I think it's important to state that bit nonetheless. We want to keep people safe. Next, I clean this gross toilet base. I live with 3 boys, need I say more? And I know I should be wearing gloves, I'm sorry. But I just couldn't be bothered to fish them out of the cupboard. This was the extent of my mopping in this room, just the important bits of the floor. At this point, I'd accepted I was not going to get the whole house done before we left, so I resigned myself to the rooms downstairs. At least it's something. And I'll come back and do all of upstairs when we get home. Charlie will be on laundry duty because there's nothing that spikes my anxiety more than unpacking a suitcase. And that is because I never finish it. I always start with the best intentions and I'll wash a few loads, and then I won't have the bandwidth to dry and put them away. We'll end up living out of the suitcase, things will get spread all over the house, and it just turns into unnecessary chaos every time, to the point that I'm often like, do I even want to go to this thing? Because the inevitable upheaval is just not worth it. I will absolutely acknowledge my flaws and weaknesses, and this is one of them. I'm just not organised when it comes to that kind of stuff. Luckily though, Charlie is, and we both have our roles to play when it comes to making this house function, somewhat at least. Neither of us are perfect when it comes to consistency, picking up as you go along, that kind of thing. But we're trying our best every day to come up with new systems and stick to routines, and that's all you can do. Just try your best. Anyway, as you can see, we'd gotten behind on the pots, so I made it my mission to wash and dry everything and make this surface sparkle before we left. And then we really did need to leave. I hadn't even had a shower and gotten dressed at this point, and Charlie was stressing. But if I hadn't gotten this last bit done, I would have just been thinking about it the whole time. You can't leave dirty pots for a whole weekend. I know it looks like we in fact did, but these were just pots from last night's dinner and breakfast this morning. Our house is just so chaotic most evenings, and by the time everyone's eaten dinner and we've done bedtime routine, the pots are just put on the back burner until the morning. And I know it's not the best habit to get into, but sometimes it's choosing between a little bit of rest time and cleaning right up until your eyes closed. I know for some people cleaning is downtime and you can't relax or go to bed knowing things haven't been finished or cleaned up, but it's definitely not the case for us. Ultimately, whether it gets done in the evening or in the morning, it's getting done, isn't it? That's what I think. I will admit though, on the days we have more energy or we've been more organised and everything's reset for the night, it's the best feeling waking up to a clean house. But while we're in this particular phase of our lives with small children and limited energy, we just go with the flow and try to stay happy and upbeat. I've said this so many times, but I think social media has really warped our perception of what normal family life can look like. Sometimes there just isn't enough time in the day to do everything, or at least to do it well. Some people are better at managing their time, some people have more help. And I know for me, I could have a pristine house at all times, but it would be at the cost of my mental health and quality time with my children, because I would literally have to clean and pick up 24/7. So I'd rather it just build up sometimes and do bigger clean-ups than pick up as I go along and have to be conscious of that all the time. It's whatever works for each family. We're all so different, but I think as long as everybody in the household feels loved and valued, that's what's most important. Whether your house is always clean or it's often messy and you're wondering how other people manage to keep up. Are the people who live with you happy, content? Do they feel loved and nurtured? Then you're doing grand. We got to Longleat late at night after Charlie took 2 wrong turns and added an hour to our journey. And the place is so big you have to take a little train to get to your cabin. This was their winter wonderland walk and there were so many pretty lights and the singing reindeers. I feel like these are at every garden centre in the UK at Christmas time. But they're just animatronic reindeers that sing Christmas songs and the kids love them. It pretty much rained the entire time we were there. The next morning my mum and stepdad took Rudy on the high wires. This was the first time he's been tall enough to go on them and he was so brave, bless him. He even did a zip line. And look how beautiful the views are. I just love Centre Parks. We go here every year around Christmas time. The best part about it is of course the pool. Again, it was constantly raining, but that's okay. The Longleat Centre Parks has a lazy river and this was one of the only things I could go on being pregnant. Apologies for the shaky camera, we were just living in the moment, having fun. Next we went to Longleat Safari Park and the monkeys were jumping on everybody's cars. And later that night, this is at the same place, we went to the Illuminations. And it was centred all around Aardman characters, Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, Farmer's Llamas, things me and the kids watch all the time. And then there was a section that took you on a tour of different parts of the UK. So there was Big Ben, Angel of the North, Blackpool Tower, For how rainy it was so busy. You didn't get to stay very long at each bit, but it was definitely worth visiting. And I'm so glad we decided to go Centre Parks as well. It was just the loveliest weekend. We've been away for the weekend and this is what we've come home to because I promised myself I'd clean the whole house and only got round to cleaning downstairs. Never mind. So it's happening today, starting with fresh bed sheets because you've just got to. And all the clothes on the floor are clean, but in true Remy fashion, I washed them, dried them, and then ran out of steam before I put them away. Why does this keep happening? I don't know. I just have a mental block when it comes to the cycle of laundry. It's never ending and boring and it takes too much time. But then if I don't put them away immediately, this happens. I've literally got no excuse for the state of this floor. I've been snacking like a goblin at night and the wrappers have just ended up everywhere. And the carpet itself is revolting at this point. And I was going to wait until I deep cleaned this whole room to get the carpet vac out, but I've decided it's an emergency now. It can't wait. I'm only going to do this section of the floor because this is the worst bit. And then when I do the full deep clean, I'll go over it again and do everywhere else as well. I need to pull the bed out, clean under there. I'm repainting. I just want everything perfect and pristine before baby comes. And I pray I don't ruin it again in the meantime. I'd gotten quite a good handle on my messiness in the last year, but this pregnancy has just thrown everything off. Because I felt so poorly and now I feel like my brain's just reset and I need to relearn everything I tried to put in place and get back some good habits again. But we'll get there. This room is pretty much always the worst room in the house regardless because I try to prioritise the other spaces more. To me, this is just a room to sleep in and it ends up the dumping ground for clothes and things I can't find spaces for. But it needs to be a cosy haven before I give birth. I am determined. I'm having a C-section and this will be our main room for at least the first few weeks. I'm not getting out of bed and we deserve a nice comforting space. Look at how gross that water is. That is awful. But the floor is looking much better. I'm happy with that for now. Now to clear and clean all the surfaces. You know the drill at this point. If it's a flat surface, it will inevitably become a magnet for clutter. I clean it up and the cycle repeats itself. But we don't make ourselves feel bad here. As long as we're trying and not giving up, that is what we focus on. And my channel's here to give you the motivation to continue trying when you're at your wit's end with yourself. Been there plenty of times myself and I rely on cleaning channels now. If you're wondering why I'm having a C-section, wonder no more. I am very short and I make huge babies. That's me with 9 weeks still left to go, by the way. 9 weeks. Anyway, onto the bathroom. Bathroom's terrible as well. And I'm not here to make any excuses for myself today. I'm just getting it done, powering through and not letting it get me down. Sometimes things just get on top of us, some of us more than others, cough me. But I've been feeling so much more productive over the last week or so I'm hoping this is me coming out of the other end and the rest of my pregnancy is going to be easier and I'll finally be able to finish my deep cleaning and redecorating. This clean, like the downstairs bathroom in the video before, is just going to be bare minimum because I'm not hurting my back any more than it already is, scrubbing every little crevice. I'm using bleach and a mop and that has to be good enough for the time being. I got a few of those covers for my flash mop and they're so good and you can just wash them in the washing machine. So that is what we're going with today. I am excited for the day I can get stuck in again and properly give all of these tiles a good scrub. And I know I keep going on about it, but redo all of the silicone as well. I would try to arrange for someone to come and do it, but I've already got so much on my to-do list, I fear it'd send me over the edge. And I don't want to stress myself out at this late stage. We're staying as calm as possible. Another thing I'm trying to do in my 3rd trimester is stay away from bad news and doom scrolling on social media. I'm the type of person who likes to stay informed on world news and I feel it's my responsibility. But the last thing I want to happen is for it to send me into postpartum anxiety and depression because it's so easy for things like that to kind of permeate our psyche, especially in such a vulnerable time in life when hormones are all over the place. So just for this short time in my life, I'm focusing on building a happy little bubble, making cosy memories this Christmas, watching uplifting content from creators I'm familiar with, lots of home content and day in the life channels, things like that. I also hope I've been able to be a consistent source of comfort for you guys over the last few years as well. And I hope to be able to keep making videos for many years to come because I've had the best time making them. Anyway, let's rinse off all that bleach, clear this ridiculous floor, if only if it was that fast in real life. And yeah, what have I got left to do over these next 9 weeks? So I want to finish my big deep clean and repaint of the kitchen. That is top priority. I want to deep clean the stairs and the boys' room because their carpet is covered in paint. And funnily enough, it wasn't actually them that did it. Rudy's dad had come round to store some furniture while he moved house. I think I was at work. and the kids had left their paint pots out and he accidentally stood on one and stomped blue paint all over the carpet. So I need to try and sort that. And then, last but not least, I'm going to do a huge deep clean of my bedroom, repaint that room as well, then wash and sort all of baby's stuff, put up the crib, and we should be just about ready. Do we think I'll be able to get all of that done though? Sounds very easy, doesn't it? But time just seems to be running away. Especially with Christmas coming up, I just know it's going to be so hectic. No, but we're staying calm, Anyway, giving the toilet a good bleach, and it was coming up to school pickup at this time, so I was rushing a little bit, but something's always better than nothing, isn't it? One of my favourite quotes at the minute is, if a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing badly, and it's just a balm for the perfectionist mindset. And this idea that unless you've got the right circumstances, the right tools, or the right amount of time, it's not worth even starting a task. It's always worth at least trying. That's progress. Not trying at all isn't. Anyway, put the bath toys and shower curtain in some diluted bleach to soak. For me, this is the best way to clean a shower curtain. The washing machine just doesn't cut it for me. Then I gave the floor a good clean. Didn't get to film it all because my phone ran out of battery halfway through, but you get the gist. What is it with kids and baby bell wrapper being on every single surface of the house? Anyway, back from the school run, and last but not least was the boys' room. Now, I'm not going to do too much in here because this is their responsibility, and to be fair to them, they've kept it really tidy. They're doing better than me, that's for sure. But my youngest had been playing with his Play-Doh barbershop, and there was crusty sprinkles of Play-Doh everywhere, so I wanted to hoover that. Isn't that the best toy? I loved that when I was a kid. And then I put them a cosy little Christmas sign on, folded and put away my eldest's clothes because I had brought them in there before he got the opportunity to, and I just wanted it to be nice and cosy for him. Oh, another thing I need to do is go through all of the boys' clothes and see what they've grown out of, so that is also on my list. But altogether, I think this has been a very productive day. If we could just manage to keep it moderately under control, the deep cleans and all of the sorting would be much easier. And that is something I strive for going forward. I'm not holding out too much hope, to be fair, but I can dream. And last but not least today is to hoover up all the Play-Doh bits. See what I mean about the paint splodges? I really hope I can get them out. Anyway, that is enough for another day, and I hope you've had the best time watching. And I'll see you in the next video.